One Bills Live, Chris Brown, Steve Tasker with you, and we're joined by that guy that plays quarterback for the Buffalo Bills. You may have heard of him. His name's Josh Allen. Josh, thanks for joining us.
Hey, thanks for having me.
I want to start here because we talked to Coach Dorsey today, and we were talking to him about the call-it segments of practice when he gets to call some of the plays for you guys. Through the first 3 or 4 days, how has he done? What's your assessment of your new OC?
I think he's done a great job. I think today especially he's doing a great job of feeling the flow of how practice is going, trying to end on a strong note.
Yep.
I think from start to finish today, offense had a really good day. We were tuned in. We were locked in. Guys were executing at a very high level. And you love to have those days. Obviously, the first couple of days, it's a little mixed bag sometimes. Communication, a couple things here or there, a couple bad throws. But I think in the quarterback room, we've been making good decisions. Sometimes the ball can get away from us here or there, and something we got to tighten up. But in terms of good decision making, we've done a good job with that.
Because down there at the end, it looked like he caught the defense in some good calls there for you.
He was dialing up some winners.
He really was. He really was. And again, you get more, longer into training camp. You get so much more plays that are being installed. So you got more at your repertoire, and he's been doing a good job.
Give us a little. All right, here's what all the weapons you have on offense. Give us a rundown, each and every one, pluses, minuses, strengths, weaknesses.
Don't do that.
I got you.
Come on.
No, it's fun to watch these guys take part in this. You're getting to know all these new guys. Crowders has not played because he had the one practice. Now he's kind of tight, but you're getting a chance to look with Khalil. Shakir's a new guy. Isaiah McKenzie's getting more reps than we've ever seen him get in practice, and of course Gabe is on the field with you all the time. Give us an idea of how this might feel a little different. Every team's different.
Yeah, every year is it's a different puzzle, and you got to figure out a way to piece it together. So, adding guys like Jamison Crowder, O.J. Howard, drafting a couple different guys, and Khalil and Jimbo. I call him Jimbo, James Cook. He loves it, by the way. He's a funny guy in the locker room.
I don't think he has a choice.
He talks a lot.
Does he really?
No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
No, but again, everybody's kind of got their own little different skill set. We got to find ways to get them on the field because, again, when you have so many different weapons, if some guys on, there's only one ball. First of all, and you can only have 5 skill players on the field at one time. Right. So, figuring out who's on the field, what they're good at, trying to find ways to hide what they're good at because you don't want. Kind of like Isaiah last year, was kind of a gadget guy, jet sweeps and stuff like that. Now he's being incorporated into our real offense, and he's running some different routes for us and jukes and options and overs. So just adding those things, and allowing us to be multiple and keeping the defense on their feet.
You had a little bit of a plus, and it's a little bit unusual. Dave's was great. We all love Brian Daboll, and we wish him the best in New York. I mean, you were close with him, and I was buddies with. I still am. But it's different now. Ken Dorsey's here, and it's the question of training camp because the players are the players, but coaches they live in their own world up there in the box. Tell us how that transition has gone for you personally, and how much of a difference it could make the fact that you have a big history with Ken Dorsey.
Yeah, and I think that's what you just said, the history that we have. We've been in the same quarterback room for the last 3 years, and relationships with quarterback coaches and offensive coordinators are just a little bit different. I think you get a little bit more in-depth with your quarterback coach because you spend so much more time. We're in the room right now with Joe, and, we finish our film, and it's just like, all right, now we're just talking about life. We're talking about literally anything and everything that can go on. So that relationship is there, and it's a very tight bond that, me and Coach Dorsey have. So, and that's going to pay dividends on the field.
Yeah. You mentioned the first couple of days there was a little frustration. Maybe you guys didn't have it all buttoned up like you wanted to, which is to be expected early in camp. But there was a moment yesterday you had to take your helmet off and take a breath. How do you best compartmentalize frustration, knowing the role that you have on this team? Because body language is big for you. You know that. I mean, I'm not telling you anything you don't know, but how do you compartmentalize frustration?
Well, I probably don't do it the right way. I'm a big negative self-talker. I got to light a fire under myself to get going. And, it works for some people. Sometimes it doesn't. But I've got so much, such high expectations for myself. I hold myself to such a high standard. When things aren't going how I expect them to go, that's what I have to do. I take a breath and kind of sit back, collect my thoughts, and then go try to execute. But you have to have a short attention span as a quarterback. You can't focus on what just happened. You got to focus on what can happen next. Yeah. So just finding a way to reset, lock in, and try to be the best leader that I can be.
So you're going in year 5, and you've been here taking snaps a ton. You're looking across now to defense. How's the defense look to you now that you got different guys up front for them? You got Vaughn on the outside. same cast of characters and the safeties and stuff. Give us an idea of what you're playing against them. And you know, you said yesterday they're frustrating. It's a little different cat this year.
Yeah, I mean, I think if you look, especially at our defensive ends, a lot of length. You know, it's hard to get these screens out there. It's hard to do some of these RPOs and read options.
Yeah, you're sidearming a lot of stuff.
Yeah, again, they're playing it so well right now, and again, that's to be expected early on in camp. But you know, no pads, D-line going pretty hard. That pocket closes pretty quick, but you know, when we put pads on, hopefully that'll slow down a little bit. But you know, our secondary with Poe and Micah and Taron Johnson. I know we don't have Trey back out there yet, but you know, Dane's doing a good job. Cam's doing a good job, and then the Rook. You know, I call him stupid rookie. You know, that's what I call rookies. But he's doing a good job out there. He's
especially that guy, right?
He is.
You're gonna make sure you.
He is long. He is fast. He's physical. It's good to see some of the things that he's doing. What I really respect out of him, I'm his locker mate. He's got an extreme self-belief in himself. So it is good to see.
You got to have it at that position.
He absolutely does, and you know, he's got it. He really does. So I know there's going to be some bumps and bruises along the way, you know, as expected, but he's got it.
Yeah. You mentioned Isaiah already, and McKenzie has even said, you know, I'm going to have a larger role in this offense. It looks like it's fine. His role in the offense has finally reached critical mass. He mentioned the on-field chemistry that you and him have. When did that get to a place where, not that you don't have confidence in the guys you're throwing to, but you know what I mean? There's a point that a relationship on the field reaches where the symmetry is effortless, and it looks like you guys have reached that point together. When did you feel that really happened? Was it last year? Was it that New England game? When did that reach critical mass for you two?
I mean, if you break it down, he's actually the longest tenured receiver that we have on our roster with myself. So we've known each other for a very long time. I remember him getting here rookie year, having him over for Thanksgiving. You know, they'd only been with us for maybe a week, and had him over for Thanksgiving, and he just fit right in, you know, and didn't hold back from what he thought, what he was going to say, you know, at the dinner table, what he's going to do. But he is a great person. You know, he brings a lot of energy and juice to the sideline, to the field. You can see it. He's a little jitterbug out there. Yeah. So, and good things happen when the ball's in his hands.
How are you handling this camp? I mean, you know, everywhere you go, it's like, you know, you're the Pope. I mean, your presence kind of goes out. We knew you were coming like 30 seconds before you showed up because of this huge.
There's a
commotion.
cacophony of noise.
What are you looking forward to? Is it a day, or do you take this like you just go to the next thing, or are you standing up and looking down the road and saying, "Listen, I can't wait to get on the field against Denver and Buffalo in a couple of weeks for preseason"?
No, I believe me when I say this. I have no idea what's on our schedule next.
Yeah,
I don't look at what's next. As soon as I wake up, and I'm like, all right, I know we have team meeting at 8:30 and practice right after. But it's just like, all right, I'm following guys and figuring it out, you know.
Right.
So I got to get something to eat. Then we got a bunch of meetings and meetings after meetings, and then walk through. But again, like in terms of like time wise, today's Wednesday or Thursday.
Today's Wednesday.
Wednesday. Okay, it's like
I'm with you.
It just camp happens like that. You kind of forget what day it is, what time it is. I mean, it's a grind, but it's something that I love to do.
You talked about yards after catch in the spring and how it was an area you'd like to improve. That's a double-sided thing, though. It's you, but it's also Ken creating the route concepts to give those guys space after the catch, right? I mean, he's got to distribute people out on the field in such a way where there is space for them to exploit after they get the ball from you, right?
For sure. And, again, I think you play off the strengths of what you can do, and I think that we're very good outside the numbers. You know, running some, obviously, goes, comebacks, outs, things of that nature where guys are using their speed and then shutting it down, or they're going to keep going. And usually when you're throwing the ball to the sideline, it's catch and probably get out of bounds, and we understand that. So incorporating some more inside stuff, obviously something that we want to do to allow us to have some more rack.
Your vibe is this: how much do you guys talk about, if at all? How close are you now with Ken Dorsey and all the changes and the new guys? How close are you? Do you feel confident you can step up? And the way the season ended last year, with the game of perfection against New England in the playoffs, and you go to Chiefs and you're lighting up the scoreboard. How confident are you? What are your thoughts on being able to hit the ground running? That's where we're going to be right when we take off. You know, I know it's unlikely because of all this, the water under the bridge.
Again, you would hope that would happen, but at the same time, that's pretty unrealistic to have that feel. So we've got to use that game to kind of fuel us and kind of get back going. We know it's not going to be perfect. Going back to 2 years ago, ending on a pretty good note too, and then kind of hit a lull in the middle of the season last year, and then found a way to kind of climb back into things. But we're just going to take it 1 week at a time. I know it's as cliche as I can get, but that's the God's honest truth. Doesn't matter if we're throwing the ball 50 times or running the ball 50 times. If we're ending the first game in a W and then moving on to the next, and that's the mindset. Is just let's just figure out a way to win a football game.
Jimbo Cook and Shakir, for two rookies, are getting some pretty quality reps here in the early going. So it would seem that they're on a fast track, at least right now. I know the pads aren't even on yet. We haven't gotten to the first preseason game. When they go into those roles, what is your feedback for them? Because you got to believe they're thinking, all right, I got to be on point here. I'm up here with some of the starters. Like, I got to do right by these guys. Do you find that you have to calm them down, or is Cook seems as cool as a cucumber all the time? But I don't know about Shakir, but maybe you can shed some light on some of the feedback you're giving them.
I would say it's pretty similar for both guys. Their demeanor of how they're attacking, each and every day. Obviously, with James and Khalil, those are going to be some prominent pass catchers for us. Jimbo out of the backfield he's really good, catching the ball. So making sure that they understand what I expect from them in certain routes. But at the same time, we want them to be themselves, right? We drafted them, and we wanted them to be here because of who they are and what they've done and what they can do for us. So we don't want them to change. We want them to be themselves, be the best versions of themselves as they can. At the end of the day, and it comes back to the team. What can you do to help this team win football games?
Last one from me. It always happens. You get to training camp and things happen again. You think, oh, yeah, it's supposed to happen. We hear a lot about, some of these guys are flashing, playing well. It's going to go. Pads come on Saturday. Give us an idea of what you expect to change when that happens.
Well, our O-line's going to be able to get their hands on these defensive guys, and that's always a plus for us. It's going to slow them down a little bit. But in terms of body language, I think that's when you got to really get a feel for your receivers and some of these options and these jukes and these different route combinations that we have. Guys move a little bit different. Some guys move faster, believe it or not. Some guys move a little slower. So about finding that timing and that rhythm, and then just kind of going with what you trust.
Yeah.
There is a rumor going around, because after your turkey burger comment, people are trying to get to the bottom of what makes them so special. Now, this is only a rumor, but it was a pretty blasphemous one, and it may affect some of the DBs who are worried about body fat percentage. There is a rumor that what makes them so good is they brush on melted butter. Now, I don't know if that's true. I don't know if it's not true, but
even if it is true,
I don't think it would stop you.
We do not care.
Yeah.
We do not care.
Some of those body fat percentage guys may want to think twice about doubling up on the patties, though. I don't know.
They're good.
I had one. You convinced me, so I had one.
I think part of the reason that they're so good is we know we can't get them anywhere else but camp. So we're trying to stock. Yeah, we're trying to stock up. It's like going into hibernation, right? We're just trying to stock up as much turkey burger patties as we can.
Does anybody have more than Trey? He's up to 11. Like for 4 days.
I've got to be close. I've got to be close.
You're close. Okay.
Yeah, I've got to be
Josh,
close.
man, great seeing you. Thanks for coming by. And I got to admire the way you're handling the crowd out here. It's an absolutely awesome environment. I know that a large burden of it falls on you. I appreciate the way you're handling it. It's like you're the Pied Piper, man. You can't go anywhere without a crowd behind you. So I appreciate it.
Thanks for your time.
Appreciate it. Thanks for having me on.
All right, that's Josh Allen joining us here on One Bills Live.